Sally, a couple more schools and districts will begin athletics this week. How did the NMAA schedule those teams that came into the season later than others?
You know, once we found out who was going to opt back in due to the public education changing their criteria, we took those schools, and for some, we were able to create their own districts within the region. And for others, it might have been one school that we had to reinsert back into the original district. So depending on the school that was opting in, some of our schools had to redo their schedules in order to give them a home and away in order to be back in the district. And others just were able to create a brand new schedule for the fall competitions. Either way, every school that opted in the last minute was able to get a schedule.
What will the final week of the football season look like? How will you determine the matchups?
I think right now we're asking, do you want to play that final week? There are some schools that may want to opt out in order to go on to basketball. We may see that in smaller schools because a lot of those athletes are doing both sports. And others, what we will do is once we find out who wants to play that last week, we will then have a bowl type scenario. We will schedule them with another team, and they will have one more game to end the season.
Is there any update on possible state events in volleyball, soccer, and cross country?
I'm still awaiting word. We are very hopeful we'll have a state event, but at this time, as this taping, we do not have approval from the governor's office to play outside our region. So as you understand, when we do a state competition, you're going to be playing schools from different regions. So we need to get that approval from the governor's office, and then we will have a state event. If not, we will look to see that we have a culminating event within the regions.
Basketball will start next week. Can student athletes participate in competitions for two sports at once? For example, can an athlete play a basketball game on, let's say, a Thursday and then a football game that Friday or Saturday?
You know, I'm getting that question quite a bit, especially from parents as to what is my son or daughter supposed to do because they play both sports. From the very beginning, when this calendar was shrunk, we asked the athletic directors and the coaches to make sure that you allow those multi-sport athletes to do both. Work it out as to how you're going to practice, how you're going to play. So to answer your question, from the NMAA standpoint, a student athlete can be doing both sports at the same time, and we encourage that. We don't want to overwork them, but we want to make sure that they're able to play both sports.
Lastly, fan attendance is based on the county color in regards to COVID-19 positivity rate within those counties. What do you think the chances are that fans will be able to be in attendance for state events if they're approved?
You know, I think the first thing we need to look at is not about state events. We need to go back and hone in on, we need to get our counties to green and turquoise so that the volleyball parents can watch their kids participate. Right now, I know a lot of people are saying, hey, we're yellow, and we're thinking about outdoor sports. And in my mind, I'm saying, hey, those yellow counties and those red counties, let's get them to green so that our parents in the volleyball, in the indoor sports, are able to watch their athletes. As you just said in a couple questions ago, basketball's around the corner. That's an indoor sport, and the spectators are going to be by the colors of counties. So we need to do everything that we can to mask wear. I saw some pictures this weekend as to some of the games. We need to do a better job with making sure the masks are over the nose and the mouth, and that's with spectators as well. We need to social distance, and we need to do everything we can within our household and our community to make sure that we turn those counties to green and turquoise. And once we do that, then we can talk about state championships. But as for right now, we need to do that so that our indoor sport parents can watch their kids play. But you know, you go back, JP, and we talked about it's been a year, and we are playing again. But we have a start, and now we need to finish in the right way.